Hi, for my Sociology Final, I will be speaking about drug addiction, healthcare, and gun violence. So for the first one, drug addiction, I chose the form of movie, and the movie I chose was Requiem for a Dream. So this movie is an American psychological drama film that addresses the spectrum and effects of drug addiction. I chose this example because I wanted to speak about the character evolution of those that struggle with addiction. So there is Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly, and Marlon Wayans who are in this movie, and they are addicted to heroin. And Jared Leto's mom in the movie, her name's Ellen Burns, she's played by Ellen Burns, gets addicted to amphetamines after she was really lonely because her son, Jared Leto, wouldn't come around as much because he was busy with his own life, whatever. So Ellen Burns' character, she just sits around, watches television like all day, and on the television, she sees that this talk show is talking about how great these diet pills are and they make you feel so good. And so she goes to her doctor and she's like, I want to try these. And they're like, okay. And they get her started and she gets addicted to them, and she's like taking so many a day because she's so lonely and she has nothing else to do. And Burns' character's addiction is something that occurs more often than people recognize, and this is due to her naivety of the drug addiction and that would occur with these diet pills, because she didn't know any better, and she was taken advantage of by medical professionals that wanted to profit off of her addiction and therefore sickness. According to Campbell, one of the authors from the reading that we had for this chapter, was she had a metaphor that I thought really applied for Ellen Burns' character's addiction. It would be like walking up to a bar and ordering a drink without knowing the alcohol content. You don't know what you're getting yourself into, and you don't know how bad this possibly could end. Doctors are extremely important, and it needs to make sure that all motives are removed except for the motive to get the patient healthy. Another author from this section we worked on was Contreras, and they question how a person can beat someone to death, burn someone with an iron. And I think this just shows how dangerous and violent addiction is. It completely changes somebody. It takes out their personality, and they're only ruled by when they get their next fix. Contreras also provides an insightful answer to addiction in the Bronx, which in that article, that's what they were working on and studying, that the answer to addiction lies in its social context. And I think that this can be applied so deeply to Ellen Burns' character. She was old, she didn't know what she was getting herself into, and therefore the social context is she didn't know better, so she was manipulated. I'm not accustomed to drug addiction, so watching this film was like horrifying for me. It was extremely scary and sad because this grandmother was just by herself and got extremely sick mentally, and therefore turned to pills. And I always try to make sure I spend a lot of time with my grandma when she's home, because she's home alone now, and to make sure that she knows that to not do stuff like that. And in my case too, I spend a lot of time by myself, and I need to know to not turn to substances to fix solutions, because it doesn't. In the healthcare system. So the form I chose was music, and I chose Roses by Kanye West. I believe the song Roses by Kanye West portrays the healthcare system faults in a really important way. So the song is about Kanye West's grandmother that is dying from a terminal illness, and it compares her illness that's definitely curable, but they don't have the money to do so, and Magic Johnson, who he got it cured from AIDS, but everybody else that's poor, they just die. And West cultivates a strong emotion when he does this, and because he shows that Johnson is more important because of his collegiate career, where the grandmother who worked for the local church for 35 years, she gets nothing because she's low value, no money, I guess. I think that this shows how different statuses of people receive knowledge and help for physical ailments differently, and that could change the entire course of their life. An author from the chapter, Gangler, analyzes the story of the campus Meldanos, that said, without the social networks, medical vocabularies, financial reserves, and research skills, and they would have lost their child. They without that extra stuff, the child wouldn't be alive today. They knew which hospitals to send the child to, what doctors were taking advantage of them, and they could support the burden of health financially. Another author, Vincent, points out that the U.S. healthcare system is a complex social structure of stakeholders. And that's really important to remember when you question, why is that happening? Why is that corporation, why are we supporting that corporation? And it's because they're funding that hospital or they're funding that company. So just follow the money and you'll know where it goes. As said, Vincent analyzes the structure that holds the healthcare system together and shapes how medical care is assessed, provided, and funded. I haven't had to deal with the healthcare system personally because I've been able to keep pretty good health, but when my grandfather got older, we had a lot of run-ins with the healthcare system, and when he first started kind of getting sick, we went to the most local hospital when he got sick, and they didn't provide him with the adequate care he needed, and he got kind of taken advantage there. So they knew for next time to pay the $500. It's obviously expensive. Thank God they were able to pay it to go to somewhere else so he could get better care, but that's another roadblock in the way. Also, my aunt had dealt with colon and liver cancer for about 5 years, and she just was told that it had come back about, I think, 4 months ago, and her first doctor said that she needed to do chemo and that they didn't know how to fix it. So they went to a second and third opinion, and they all said, no, you don't have to do chemo. We can just operate right now, get this taken out, and move forward. And I saw her at Thanksgiving, and she's doing really well, and thank God for that. But if she didn't have the money to go and see second and third opinion, who knows if she'd be here today. As Kanye West spoke in his song Roses, the money provides you with a different level of care and a different knowledge, a different set of privileges. And thankfully my aunt was able to receive it, but majority of America, they're at a deficit because of their tax bracket and status. Lastly, I want to talk about gun violence. The medium I chose was a commercial, and the commercial I chose was Back to School Essentials by the Sandy Hook Promise. Whenever I think of gun violence, I think of this commercial. It sticks with you. It's pretty moving. So it begins as a normal one with upbeat music and what you would think as a normal back to school essentials, the things that you need. But it follows these students along in their school, and it shows them as the things they need for school. And it starts with a backpack, and then it goes to this sock so she can tie a tourniquet on the boy she's hiding with leg because he just got shot. And then it goes to scissors and colored pencils to use as weapons. And then it goes to this girl's so glad that she got a phone so she can talk to her mom, and she's sending her mom a text that she loves her because she's the gunman is walking in the bathroom right now as she's hiding. So according to Brazel, mass shootings have specific parameters that must be met and defined as one. And the Sandy Hook shooting wasn't defined as one because it was at 2 locations and it involved family violence. So a mass shooting is defined as a gun violence incident that involves 1 or 2 shooters and 4 or more casualties. Gang and domestic violence, regardless of the outcome, how many people die, that's not quantified as a mass shooting because of the intention. Schumann and Presser, another two authors in articles we read, mentioned the regularity of school shootings and the inability of government action to create legislation that will limit these events. The biggest issue that Schumann and Presser illustrate as to why change is not occurring is because gun violence is treated as a trend. Okay, yes, that's horrible. Let me post about it. Let me get all upset. But then after a month, it's like nobody cares anymore. Nothing has really changed. We just got angry, and the middle America, the people that are affected the most by this such a thing, just got fooled once again. Like, you got mad for nothing because nothing changed. So Schumann and Presser think that you need to have more prolonged attention to create change. You need to get in the face of government officials and not back down regardless of what their answer is, because they're going to try to push it along because they believe other things are more important, because I don't know why. But I believe that the commercial of the Sandy Hook Promise is something that everybody needs to see. If you don't believe that what's going on is a real issue, you need to watch that, because it depicts that it's a horrible thing that's going on, and it's something that students should not be having to worry about their safety in their school, because how are you able to learn when you have to be worried about your own life, the ability of you getting shot and dying at like age 7? Like, that's how old these children are when these tragic events happen. I think understanding the magnitude of these events for schools going forward is what stops the effects, or stops what can kind of limit them, because many schools have implemented metal detectors when walking in, or pat downs to ensure that violent objects are not entering school grounds. No student should ever have to be more focused and worried about their own safety in school, rather their education. And America's constant overlook of that is disgusting and absolutely devastating. Thank you.